Gentlemen, it is Pack here, and in today's video, there was a brand new patch for NBA 2K23 that dropped just a couple days ago. They changed a lot of players' face scans, hair updates, tattoos updates, and even some court updates that I want to cover in today's video. If you like all patch changes and player changes and all that kind of stuff, I'm really the only channel that does it, so please join the pack and subscribe. Let's get it, man. And we start off with probably Rookie of the Year, Paolo Banchero. The important thing for Paolo, as you can see, is the hair and headband update and also the tattoos on the right arm itself. This is how the Rookie of the Year candidate is looking. It's important to get him right, especially because he's been so consistent and averaging so many points. I'll show you his actual face. So they kept the face scan, but the hair update is a lot better. It's important, dude. It's important. Like, imagine being a Magic fan. You're hyped about your brand new rookie who's balling out, and you had the wrong hair on him the entire year. It's important that 2K are doing mid-year updates to make sure that people who like the game, that like these players, can use them accurately as they look today. It looks great. It's a really big update, and I'm happy they have it. Up next, we have Oshae Brissett. Now, this is a player on the Indiana Pacers that also has a face, beard update, and all that kind of stuff. Again, maybe Oshae Brissett is not the most famous NBA player in the league. Obviously, we all know that, but it's always important to get everybody right, even players that are on worser teams and they're worser players. Right? It looks good. I want y'all to see the before and after stuff. Also, make sure to do comparisons on the video itself. You see the other hairstyles he has, like this version without the headband, this version with the longer hair. You have different versions of Oshae. They're trying to make sure they get them all right in this patch alone. And this is a good change. Now we're on a Jimmy Butler. Look what he did with his hair, bro. Oh my goodness, Jimmy Butler. Look, they had the headband version with, I guess, listen, bro. I know I've never been very good at naming hair, but I don't know what to call that. I don't know. It looks like that one character from Dragon Ball. But that hairstyle, they added it into the game. I know he was being memed on for his hair basically all season. But there you go. You have the Jimmy Butler that you would want, even if he doesn't have his hair for the entire season. I think it's always good to have everyone's hairstyle from whenever they had their hair. It's funny. Hey, I'm sure it looks fine, and I'm sure some Heat fans think it looks cool. So there you go. It's added onto the game, no matter how it looks. So Nicholas Claxton has had a lot of changes in his NBA career, but they finally got him right. So they added the tattoos on his shoulder and his arm, which is always important, but even more importantly is that they added his hairstyle as well. A lot shorter with a little fade on it. Much better. He did have that super long blonde hair that he had. 2K usually has a pretty rough time of making sure they get players right in advance. But no matter how long it takes them, they got it right. The hair is better, and they even added like the acne on the forehead and the beard and the mustache and all that kind of stuff. With the tattoos, it looks better. The Nets are going to be a good team with the Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Nicholas Claxton's one of the better players on that team. It's important to get him right as well. It's a dub by 2K. Now, in this part of the video, we're going to have to go through the historic players, like the all-time players. A great example of that is Tyson Chandler. This is the brand new version of Tyson Chandler. Y'all should have seen how bad it was before. I hope I can find a picture of it because I never really recorded the previous version. Now, this version still has some issues. Like, it looks like they put hair on his lips for some reason. But this looks night and day so much better than what they had before. What they had before was egregious. I don't know what the hell is going on over there. But yes, this is better. Tyson Chandler, you know, he was one of the best players on multiple NBA teams with the Hornets, with the Knicks, with the Mavericks. I mean, he has multiple different seasons being a really good player. It is essential that they got him right, and finally they did. Another player that they got right all time is Maurice Cheeks on the Philadelphia 76ers all-time team. This is a player that was on multiple great NBA teams like the San Antonio Spurs, the 76ers. He's always been a very good point guard, all-time 76er. This is the younger Maurice Cheeks with the mustache. It looks great. I'm happy that they're addressing the older all-time players because a lot of the all-time players have like PS3, PS4 graphics. It's finally coming around to the all-time historic players on the PS5. It looks fantastic. This gets me excited for who else they're going to be updating throughout the year. Shout out to Razer for doing an amazing job. This looks amazing. Up next, we have Chicago Bull back in the first repeat of the Chicago Bulls, Stacey King. Now, again, this is a player that wasn't one of the better players in the NBA or anything, but the thing why they're getting all historic Bulls players right is because that they're doing like the Jordan challenges still, and they want to make sure that everyone appearing in the Jordan challenges looks accurate as possible. And Stacey King looks great here. I don't know what's going on with the ear. Looks like he has cauliflower on his ear, but still, besides the ear, the face scan is a lot better than what it was before. It's still not great, but this is also a 70 overall on one of the historic teams. I don't mind him not being great compared to the good players like Maurice Cheeks, right? So I'm okay with this. Not great, but it's not terrible either. But someone who is important is all-time player Mark Price on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So much better. The previous version kind of had hints of Mark Price, but this looks like a younger Mark Price with the longer hair. Very, very clean. Again, man, it's like, it's not just that it excites me that they're getting all-time players right, but it's like the specific all-time players. Like you got Tyson Chandler, Maurice Cheeks, and Mark Price, all who had very questionable face scans. Players who are like in the 80 overall club to get right is a big deal to me. And I'm excited what they're going to do with the other players, like Will Chamberlain's Mario looking ass. It was terrible. Hopefully they're going to address him as well. But Mark Price here, it's important to get him right. These 80s players that were only really popular back then, but not popular with the current generation, it's important to get them right to get people excited about them again and research them and like them in NBA 2K. I think this is awesome. Now up next, we have D'Angelo Russell with a dynamic hair update. If you don't know what dynamic hair updates are, it's essentially that like every single hair in 2K, they want to make sure they have physics. So if you like turn, if you do a little spin move, your hair is going to move around. Now D'Angelo Russell in the back of his head has hair that is free and loose. And there you can see right there that if you move it around, it moves just a little bit. It's just like real life. You know, if it's a tighter grip, it's going to like move around a little bit, but not like crazy. You'll pause, and there you go. You can see a little bit of moving there. So they have it right. It's not like a crazy amount of movement, but it's still moving. It's a very good dynamic update for D'Angelo Russell. Another player with hair that can move is Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's been balling out for the Blazers lately, and here you can see if I move him back and forth that the hair is going to move back and forth as well, which is important. Again, you know, you want that free movement hair looking as good as possible and like looking like real life. Like when he does the crossover, when he goes for a dunk, you can see the hair flying in the wind, which is what you're going to want to see from a player like him. Awesome change. Another player that never gets to play because he's always injured is Robert Williams, who also has a hair dynamic update. Even though his hair is a lot shorter, it does still move in the wind, in transition, and all that kind of stuff. Even though it's very little bit about, it is moving, and so that's good. They're addressing everyone. Everyone looks good here. Robert Williams, his hair's moving, even if it's moving on the bench. And finally, we have Zaire Williams with that little bit of a rat tail in the back of his hair is moving when he plays. And there you go. It's another one. It's kind of hard to see, I know, but just because of the lighting of 2K. But it does move that little bit amount. There you go. But there's more. We also have some court changes. For example, these 6 that's added onto every single NBA court, which is honoring Bill Russell's passing, is now added into the game. If you go to any single NBA team, you can see right there that boom. You have it also on the alternate courts as well, because a lot of teams have alternate courts. So all that's been added, very, very clean. Also, as you can see, you have no idea how hard this was to get on camera, by the way, because I had to move the camera out a lot. You can see right there. No! You can see right there. 2022 NBA champions for the Golden State Warriors. I know it'd be very, very hard to see this in game, but they did add it to make sure that every single court was as accurate as possible. Congrats to the champs. And also you can see right there, well, barely you can see. You can kind of see. It's kind of hard. It's not really letting me show you, but I'm doing my best. On the Lakers court, they now have George Mikan's 99 retired for the Los Angeles Lakers. I was wondering why they didn't before, but if you look at the jerseys that are retired, this is what I'm realizing. The only reason Mikan was probably not retired before is because he was on the Minneapolis Lakers, and I guess they were trying to say that that wasn't the same one because all the other ones, even though Elgin Baylor, Jerry West also played on the Minneapolis Lakers, were on the same team that switched to Los Angeles. So a weird one, but now they have Mikan's jersey, which is 100% accurate and fair to him. And here on the Chicago sky for the WNBA, you can see that they added the championship little trophy because they just won, and they made sure to add a Black Lives Matter stamp on all WNBA courts. Those are all the changes, and hey, yo, what they got on the court there? Those are all the changes. Some are important, some are minor, but a lot of different stuff. There's also 2 other things that I couldn't find. There was the Doug Smith sculpt change and the Jason Williams sculpt change. 2 of them that I couldn't find at all in 2K, but those have been added as well. a lot of changes. I'm sure there's some stuff that you guys wish 2K changed. So let me know what you guys want in the comments below. And if you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.